not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And we got to the point where we can't blame the white man, but we can blame the black female. You know, and my thing is like this: if you can't blame the person who commits the offense, if you can't blame the person holding the smoking gun, then therefore you should have the option to blame whoever you want. You know, some people are gonna blame the white man, society, the government, politics. Some's gonna blame the black female. Now, hot off the reels, we have the brute who reacted off his primal rage and terminated his baby mother for $600 in child support. He didn't want to pay it, thought it was unfair, thought it was going to ruin his life and his own offspring. But this video isn't about that. It's about a bigger problem. You know, and when we go into this concept of taking accountability, taking responsibilities for your action, especially when the poor old Negro wants to point his finger to the white man or how society has treated him. But the floodgates have been opened to blame the black female because why? Because it's a single mother parenthood that's destroying the black community. You got the child support system that's destroying the black community. And sometimes I have to sit back and analyze it, you know, with a rational mind and say, you know, maybe black people are just plumb stupid. You know, I'm like, if you got all these pitfalls and traps, and each time you turn around, a black person is complaining about this and can't get himself together, and you know, and they're constantly making these bad decisions. I'm like, it's to the point where the white man can put up a sign, a trap with a neon sign saying trap, and black people will foolishly just walk into it and continuously walk into it, or you can just set them on a conveyor belt and just roll them right into it. It's like the crack game. You know, first people will talk about the crack game, you know, destroyed the black community, and now it went to child support. You know, and then when it comes to cleaning up the black community, you know, the black man has to pull up his bootstraps. You know, we got to get rid of these drug dealers and pimps and prostitutes or whatever and clean things up and so forth. But people will feel that the black man is completely powerless when it comes to dealing with single parent households. Yeah, that's nothing. We can't do anything about that, man. It's the laws, it's the government. You know, they give females too much power. So who gives the females power? Because these females don't own any property. And here in America, you gotta own land to really have some druthers. You know, so who's giving the black woman this much power and leeway? Then who is it? You know. You know, then you have to say, oh well, it's the government, it's the white man. But you say, oh well, you can't just blame him. You know, I mean, you gotta take accountability for your actions. Then you blame the female. But a female can't produce a kid by herself. She's not a, you know, I think there's certain creatures in nature that can produce, you know what I'm saying, asexually or whatever. And so forth. You know, but you say, oh, well, you know, it's the female, she pushed the black man out and all this other stuff and rah, rah, rah. And I'm not saying that the female is void of any sort of responsibility, but you have to, you have to get where I'm saying at. You know, you have two factions, two parties that seem to not be able to get it together. That's what I'm talking about. And it seems like the black community is stumbling across one goddamn roadblock after another one. So it's almost to the point where, you know, I'm like, you know, there's a thing called natural selection in nature. And a natural selection, you know, determines if a species survives or not. or the species progress, or one dies out. The black community, our loose definition of what the black community is very stagnant. It doesn't take much, what I mean, that to create something that is detrimental to the black community. Now, anybody who watches my videos know my stance. I'm kind of a liberal person, but I'm not liberal to child support. Because I know what black men do to get women. They sue them up, woo woo woo. And you can say, well, it's partially the women's fault or whatever. So why does the man, have to take the fall for it, and the woman be the beneficiary of it? Well, there's a child. There's a third party here, and it's the child. It's not about if a man had sex with a woman. It's this child that's being reproduced that comes from it. And you may say, well, it's unfair. Now, when we go into the child support system, that black people need to be more proactive. We need to create push legislator to maybe change this. But no, we're not going to do it. It's just like abortions. When we sit back and we complain about black women and they're getting all these, they're killing they kill more black babies than anybody. But how many black people you see protesting at an abortion clinic? I'm like, white people do it all the time. Matter of fact, it'll be very dangerous for a white person for a white doctor to perform abortions. They kill these doctors. But you don't see I'm not advocating killing anybody, but you don't see too many black people with picket signs. White people go to the extremes to protest against something that they feel is detrimental, to their society and way of life. Yeah, of course, white people are only doing it to save white babies. They don't care about black people. I understand that. But I don't expect them to. I don't expect white people who's protesting about abortions to give a fuck about black people. I don't care about that. And that's the thing. So that's the thing. Just be proactive. And, and if we want to change the law and the stipulations of child support, and things of that nature, white people are going to say, well, it's not a problem for us. Why is it that you black people keep bumping your heads? Why is it you black people, we got to keep holding your hands? You guys just supposedly can't get along and have all these problems that other people don't have. So therefore, looking at the black community, we just look at it as just, somehow we're not proactive, and we're not using critical thinking skills. We're not using problem solving skills. And you may say, well, white people don't get trapped up in child support because white women don't put white men on child support and things of that nature. That's a lie. Also, white men don't have as many babies as black men. Now, I got black friends. I got a friend of mine who's a fry cook. A fry cook who has 4 different babies by different baby mothers, or so forth. I worded it wrong, you know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. And he's not worried about child support. He's not worried about any of his baby's mothers taking them to court for it. The majority of people do not take their baby's father to child support. If they did, I think more men would be responsible, and so forth. But the black man, he analyzes it, he takes the risk, just like selling drugs on the corner. He sees people sell drugs and get away with it, sees people sell drugs and, get a nice car or whatever. He sees some people get caught by the police or whatever, get pinched, get stinged. So he takes that risk, and that's what it is when it comes to having sex. Because I know it feels good going into it raw, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? Is that how they look at black men as men that have no self-control? Someone that is somewhat primitive, who don't think long range. And going back into the 600. In the case of the $600 man, the fact that he murdered his child and baby mother in cold blood speaks a lot for his character. Meaning, I can judge that action by who he is. You see what most people are going to say, oh, the child support, it's so fucked up. You know what I mean? It pushed this man to the edge. You know, he's the victim here and so forth. But if he reacts with this sort of kind of raw anger, and aggression, that's the key word, aggression, then therefore when it comes to getting pussy, you know what I mean, and reacting like a fucking animal, that's how he was. You know what I'm saying? So I can judge his character on that this dude is probably out there trying to fuck anything. Now this is a dude who's like an animal. He's going off his instincts. I'm like, he's not thinking long ahead, or he's not thinking ahead when he's, you know what I'm saying, he's not the type of person that to me is going to be rational enough to say, what if I get her pregnant and get on child support? No. You see what I mean? I'm like, the dude was a barbarian, you know, going by his actions. Now, when it comes to child support, and if we complain to the white man and say, hey man, you know what I mean, this child support, it's ruining us, it's the worst thing that happened to us since slavery, since the crack epidemic and so forth. But the white man would just say that, well, our child support system is the same for everybody. The white men got to go by these same rules. So why is that with you black people, we have to make exceptions? You know, and that's the thing. And some people would say that, oh, well, white women don't put their men through, they're supportive and submissive, they don't put their men through child support. But black men have more children than white men. I'm like, how many white men do you know have 3 baby mothers and never been married to one of them? You know, most likely you come across a white man who has 3 baby mamas, he's been married 3 times. You know, but how many? You know, I have a friend who's got 4 baby mothers and he's a fry cook. 4 baby mothers and he's a fry cook at a restaurant. I make more money than him and I don't have any kids. No, and that's the thing, and so forth. So, and I can't feel sympathetic for that, and I'm definitely not going to feel sympathetic for that murderer. Now, for some of you guys who felt that this dude was a victim, and you know he did what a lot of men would have done. He was frustrated. He was up against the wall. Well, you know, are you going to visit him when he's in jail? Are you going to send him letters? You know, because I know that in the realm of social media, you know, we think that if someone murders a black woman, especially over child support, and it makes him some sort of midland warrior, you know, but you don't get no props for that in jail. I'm like, he's going to get ripped wide open. He seems like the type of person they're going to put in protective custody. And, you know, he's going to be sharing a cell with a dude that he's going to be calling a sweet Bubba. You know, and that's the thing. Now, me doing my research on child support, America is not the only country that has these laws. You know, in Europe they call them child maintenance. So therefore we have to examine other societies that has these laws where a man has to pay money to the mother of his children. You know, give her retribution, you know, give her compensation or whatever. And you have to analyze, now, are these some of these people suffering from the same problems? Now, I'm pretty sure in all societies you have men complaining about women gaining too much power and so forth. But is it hurting them as much as it hurts the black community? And ask yourself why. You know, but don't act like a man can't benefit from child support, because I know some females that have to pay child support. You know, I understand that it's harder for men to gain custody, but look at the case of Halle Berry. Halle Berry baby father, that slacker white dude or whatever, because supposedly, black women think that white men are like the responsible component, but she has to pay him. Even though she has custody of her child, she has to pay him, and when he takes care of the child, she has to support him, and so forth. Now she's trying to battle that in court because she thinks that's unfair. So that's how these laws are. My thing is, unless you're going to get involved in politics, unless you're going to get involved in, and if we feel that it's a major problem or whatever, then yeah, we definitely need to get involved in politics and try to change things around. But for now, let's start thinking with our heads, and and take responsibilities for our actions.